Hello, hello. Hey there. Eat your broccoli. How you doing? I tried sending an email to that email you gave me. It wasn't going through, but since I'm live, I just wanted to say thank you. I'm gonna wait a few more minutes here. Eat your broccoli. Broccli. Okay. Oh, okay. Hey, all right. Hey, Mama Gnome, welcome in. All right, I got it now. Yes, yes. Everything is good. Yes, believe it or not, it's pretty nice during the daytime, but during the nighttime it gets kind of chilly. Gets it down into the mid 50s. Yep, yep. Here we're in the chapter 3, guys, of around Benson. It's called the Hub City. Hey, Harry Bonzel, what's happening? All right, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started here, guys. Benson came to be known as the Hub City because their three railroads met there. From Benson, people turned south to the mining towns of Tombstone and Bisbee or to the international ports at Nogales and Douglas To the east were New Mexico and Texas, and west were Tucson and California. 400 pounds of copper ore a day was shipped out. Supplies were shipped in, and people went every which way. Benson served the Tombstone, Bisbee, Dragoon, Yellowstone, Rincon, Huachuca, and Whetstone mining districts, and Rancho needed the railroad services as well. In March 1880, the Tombstone Maverick scoffed at the idea of Benson, ridiculing what it called little enthusiasm over the matter of the railroad's selling of 64 lots and attempts to bring up water from a well. But Benson developers did find water, plenty of good artesian water. By 1895, there were 350 such wells in and around Benson, no doubt the envy of places like Tombstone. Benson was laid out with north-south streets named after local mountain ranges and rivers, and east-west streets numbered 1 through 9. 4th Street between Gila and Patagonia Streets became the business district. Hotels, liveries, retail stores, a post office, a lumber yard, restaurants, and of course saloons were quickly established. Travelers in the early 1900s noticed a town of 1,100 people bustling with cowboys, miners, railroaders, and local gentry of all races. Law enforcement was sporadic during the early years. A town constable and his assistant were essentially the only town employees. One of them worked days, the other nights. The nighttime shift was more difficult and paid more. On one occasion, however, Benson citizens took matters into their own hands and stormed a saloon known as the Joint to expel from it, and from the town, a band of outlaws known as the Top and Bottom Gang, who had shot a sheriff's deputy. They dismantled the saloon and gave the gang until sundown to leave the town. The gang moved on to Tucson that evening. Though the railroads left beginning with Santa Fe in 1898, Benson survived this and many setbacks by virtue of its ideal location. It remains a terminus of traffic from the south and an oasis from the monotony of travel. This pre-1900 view looking east down 4th Street from Patagonia Street reveals the Grand Central Hotel, the Virginia Hotel, and the sloped roof of the bath shop. 25 cents for a hot bath. The flag probably marks the home of Leonard Redfield. Wooden barriers built around trees may have been to protect them from animals. Lumber store owner Herman Gerwain opened Gerwain and Bullis Lumber Company east of Patagonia Street in 1880. Gerwain died in 1909. Hey, y'all appreciate it, Harry. All work, no play. Hey, welcome in, bro. 4th Street bustled with activity in the early 1900s. The real estate office in Cosby's cash store left says much about the boom times. At the center of the Meyer Brothers store on the corner of San Pedro Street, which burned in 1921. Yes, sir. Yes, it's a nice day out here, bro. Very nice. Cosby Brothers Grocery, also known as Cosby's Cash Grocery, in the block east of San Pedro Street, was named for James Melvin and John Robert and sold everything from produce to real estate. After Alva Finn and his family fled Mexico on a train in 1912, spending their last $5 in Tombstone in a vain attempt to save their baby, James Cosby helped them get on their feet when they got off the train. Inside the Cosby Brothers Grocery, men gather, perhaps to resolve important matters concerning Benson. The bananas undoubtedly came by train, but much of the other produce appears local in origin. November 12th, 1903, Miss A.G. Coma Duran bought a cow and calf with brands from local ranches for $45. The bill of sale on Cosby Cash Store letterhead was drawn up by T. Bracken, perhaps an early lawyer. Hey, Jake Snake, ex-bootlicker, what's happening, y'all? Good to see you guys. Great to have you guys all here, man. Citizens Bank, established March 1905, was located just west of Pachuca Street, next to the new post office. A bank has continuously occupied the site ever since, though its ownership has changed often. It looks as though the whole town came out to watch the laying of the cornerstone for the Territorial Industrial School, built in 1902 and opened in 1903 in Benson at a cost of $25,000. It would be another year before the building was furnished, however, and delinquent boys could be referred there. Sorry guys, I'm not in my usual spot. Otherwise you guys can see the pictures here. There's somebody else sitting over there. A few years after the original dormitory classroom was built, a gymnasium was added to the Territorial Industrial School for another $25,000. The gymnasium provided a staging place for the military-style drills of the boys. Such regimentation mirrors Native American boarding schools of the same era. A building on 5th and San Pedro Street served as the first school. Formerly a church, the building had been moved from the west of Benson to 4th Street, where it sat among taverns. Nobody liked that arrangement, so the building was moved to this location on San Pedro Street. Later on, the Women's Club owned it, and when their new building went up, they used the former school as a library. Hey Karen, welcome. First post office was built soon after Benson was established in 1880. In the block between Huachuca and San Pedro Streets. The first postmaster was John Russ, pictured here at the new post office west of Huachuca. Leonard Redfield became postmaster in 1896 with employee Laura Martinez and an unidentified woman and child. Leonard Redfield and Laura Martinez worked behind the scenes at the post office. Leonard's father, Henry Redfield, was postmaster in Reddington, downstream, north on the San Pedro River, and as a boy, Leonard carried mail by horseback to communities up and down the San Pedro Valley. Redfield later became Benson's first mayor. Hey, what's up, Joe? What's happening, man? Hey, doing all right, bro? Near the post office was a Goldwater store. However, the letterhead on this receipt to M. Moreno has been stricken, though, and another merchant's name written there, illustrating that recycling and reuse was an important part of territorial business. Numerous wells dug in the 1890s provided means for everyone to buy their water rather than dig their own wells. Still, as this bill, dated March 1st, 1909, shows, conservation was encouraged. Sharing with your neighbor was strongly discouraged. Let them subscribe themselves. Mr. Cosby probably owned the well, and the Bank of Benson collected the fee. Hey, no name, no name. What's happening? S.B. Sterling Moss got into the automobile business early, selling and servicing Studebakers in 1918. He also ran the ice house from a different location. Benson people seemed gathered for a parade on 4th Street in the 1920s, but the parade is comprised of only one car. C.F. Moss Drugs at the corner of Pachuca Street and 4th Street is next to the post office, and then the bank with Benson Lumber Company at the far end. C.F. Moss served on Benson Union High School's district's first board of education. Dr. Henry Watkins poses with his brother George, an engineer, in 1890. Yeah, they're quite intriguing, the little pictures here. Dr. Henry Watkins poses with his brother George, an engineer, in 1890. Dr. Henry and Sally Watkins came to Benson for their health in 1897. Both energetically joined the Benson community and were much loved, especially Sally for her charity toward others. Dr. Watkins died in 1903 and Sally died in 1908. Henry Walker stands before his pharmacy, built between San Pedro and Huachuca Streets prior to 1889. The adobe building did not survive fires and facelift, but the site was later occupied by Cooper Drug, then Joe and Ed's Place, owned by Joe Kiwis and Ed Sorgan in 1935. In 1969, it was known as Joe's Confectionery, run by Lou Kiwis. During the Mexican Revolution, sentiment in many Benson homes was with Pancho Villa. The caption of this newspaper article, covered and stitched to a piece of cardboard in an effort to preserve it, reads, "The gorilla proves harder to catch than a cucaracha." General Jack Pershing pursued Pancho Villa into Mexico following Villa's raid in Columbus, New Mexico. There's Pancho Villa. In the First World War era and into the 1920s, Dr. Richard Yellott helped answer the medical needs of Benson. Highwell Grocery operated from 1896 until 1989. Highwell stands to the left while daughter Soledad stands behind the counter. The customer is unidentified. Soledad and her sisters ran the store after Highwell died in 1931. Oh wow! I worked with a guy that was related to Pancho. After selling Studebakers, SB Moss also sold Red Crown gasoline to early automobile traffic from the store east of San Pedro Street. Two doors down is the K&H, Kemp and Holcomb Grocery. The block that formerly had Moss's gasoline station looks much different in 1960. The Moss building is gone from where the street is recessed. In fact, the new post office out of view occupies part of the recessed space, and McGoffin's Furniture opened where Moss once sold gas. The photographer was standing in front of High Wool Grocery. Across the street from Moss, Lee Grantham opened a Union Oil filling station. This building, though not the business, survived in the 1990s. Someone has to fix the autos when they break down. Pecos Garage, pictured in the 1920s, owned by W.F. Jones and M.H. Davis, was once such a place. Mechanics often had been blacksmiths prior to the automobile. Despite the rage in automobile travel, horses and wagons still dominated the transportation scene. This freight wagon, owned by W.C. Martinez, is driven by Alva Fenn. The wagon seems homemade with carriage wheels. To hire this rig, one only had to dial 27 on the phone. Alva Fenn had established himself as a wagoner while driving a school bus when Benson and Pomeranian formed the Benson Union High School District in 1914.
Are you taking a video?
I'm doing a live stream.
Oh, sorry.
All right. The 1940s would see development of a new form of interstate travel, the national highways. This preview of Benson gives perspective to show the intersection of railroads and the development of highways would continue to shape Benson. And that's the last page for this chapter, guys. This is chapter 3, the Hub City. Chapter 4 is going to be Home on the Range, guys. So we'll do that one probably tomorrow, maybe, depending on what happens. Yep. Yeah, just be careful. You guys have any questions or any comments? Quite a few up there. Hey, anytime. um, I just want to make an announcement. I do have my birthday coming up here in a couple of days on the 15th. um, I do have my birthday coming up on the 15th, guys, which I will be turning 43. So, if you guys feel compelled, to send a little money for a gift as a gift or something, you guys always can. If not, a happy birthday is always welcome. But you guys know where my Cash App is, and anything is always appreciated, guys. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. And what else was I gonna say? Oh, and I might need a. If you guys can, I mean, anything that'll help out with, the parts for my bike. I think I might need a chain on this bike because it keeps skipping. But if you guys can, it's appreciated. If not, then it's all good. Life goes on. Just want to say thank you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. And we'll catch you guys hopefully mañana.